All right, welcome everybody to the Peak Wellness 365 orientation, your complimentary free orientation presentation. And sitting here next to me is Dr. Julianne Lechuga, or Dr. J as we call her. My name is Sean Lechuga. I'm one of the co-founders of Peak Wellness 365. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and many other different modalities that we do there at the clinic, such as myofascial therapy and other, personalized meal plans, etc. I will let Dr. J introduce herself here in just a second, but what we are doing for you guys today is providing this orientation for those of you who are brand new to the clinic, and we're going to explain a little bit more about who we are, what we do, why we do it, and also a little bit of how we do it, so you guys get a better understanding of how we operate and how we run things over here at Peak Wellness 365. And I will go ahead and turn it over here to Dr. J and let her introduce herself, and you get to know more about her, and she is the doctor and the face of our practice.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Julianne Lechuga, or also known as Dr. J. I am a doctor of natural medicine. I'm a holistic and nutritional practitioner. I work with the whole body, finding the root cause and helping heal you from the inside out. We work as a team, Sean and I, and we basically build you up, back up to where you can live your life fruitfully. This is probably a little bit older, but I have a little more than 15 years of experience, hands-on, both in, I guess you could say, traditional medicine as well as holistic medicine. I actually started off in traditional medicine doing nursing or certified nursing assistant, and then I was looking at going to nursing school, and along that journey I ended up meeting a very wonderful holistic doctor back in the day that helped me deal with some of my own health issues that I was running into. I had early stages of fibromyalgia, and although I had two older daughters with my beautiful husband, our handsome husband, I also wanted to have another daughter or son. By the way, we have 4 girls, so that's why I make that joke. But anyways, we wanted another kiddo, and I was too sick to be able to carry another child. Actually, partially through a pregnancy, I ended up miscarrying and just finding myself very unhealthy and feeling so sick I couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. So when we met the holistic doctor, that we ended up working with, he ended up changing the direction of my health as well as the direction of which I wanted to go in. And that's when I realized that holistic medicine had way more to offer than traditional medicine, and it was really more about the root healing and actually getting to the base of the problem and changing people's lives from that standpoint, which was way more productive than the other way of, symptom band-aiding. But anyways, that's the story of me, and just kind of giving you a brief background of where I'm coming from and why I decided to go this route. But I will leave it over to my husband now to introduce himself a little bit further.
Cool. And before I introduce myself, I want to just kind of give a rundown and explain exactly what we do here at Peak Wellness 365 and what we do and how we help people. So we are actively helping people of all ages heal naturally by addressing the root cause of their health challenges, helping people with chronic illness, physical pain, and even emotional and trauma, stress and release therapies. And we use natural therapy, personalized nutrition, and lifestyle-based solutions. Just kind of a little bit of a breakdown of what we do. My name is Sean Lechuga. I'm a certified nutrition counselor and practitioner. I have a little bit more than 15 years of hands-on experience, going on 20 now. I can't believe it's going that quick. My background and expertise started when I was actually very young, learning from a young age from my uncle, actually, how to read nutrition labels, and he taught me a lot about what was, things that they were putting in our food that is not, good for us and that can be very detrimental to our health. As I grew older, as I grew older, I still ended up having my own lifestyle struggles and health challenges of my own, kind of losing a little bit of my path in my late teens and early 20s. I had bouts with colitis and anxiety, depression, and even struggles with alcohol. And I was able to overcome all of these when I decided to make a change for myself in my mid to late 20s. And that's around the time that I became a certified personal trainer and working one-on-one with clients in the fitness industry and the gym arena. I developed a deep passion for nutrition, deciding to combine the two, because I knew that, exercise is nothing without, proper nutrition and lifestyle habits. And we, Julianne and I decided in late 2019, early 2020, that we wanted to pursue opening up our own business and helping people to achieve, their health and wellness goals. And when we first opened Peak Wellness 365, it actually was opened as the wellness shop. And during COVID, we were selling holistic health and wellness products online. So a lot of, different healthcare products, supplements, etc., that we were, even essential oils. We had a line of essential oils that we were selling. And once things started opening back up again, 2021, Julianne and I started traveling a little bit and met a couple of mentors, attended a couple of seminars and things that opened our eyes to what we could do helping people one-on-one rather than just selling products. We had such a vast knowledge and experience. So that's where Peak Wellness 365 was born, and now we have that in-person clinic down there in downtown Littleton. And so we're working on year number 6 now. So we're very proud of where we started and where we've come. So just some of the facts that have shaped our experience over the years, and what we've learned from others and what we've learned from our patients and different mentors. And fact number 1 is most people prefer not to be harmed in order to be healed. And I'm going to let Dr. J elaborate on a lot of these points, because I like how she dives into it from the clinical doctor side of things as well. Disease management does not restore function. You do not have a drug deficiency. That's our favorite one. Talking about traditional care, which is holistic medicine or natural medicine. It's over 6,000 years of recorded history. Next is, modern disease management, which is your typical Western medicine. This has a brief 115-year history. And last but not least, authentic care is accessible, affordable, and it's the most important part, it's results driven. And as we like to say, welcome to authentic care. Now I'm going to have Dr. J just kind of give a very brief rundown of each of these and kind of what we mean by these facts.
Yeah, so as far as being harmed to be healed, right? We don't need to remove organs because they don't serve us, because that's not true. They're not left over from evolution. We actually need many of the organs, and we're finding that many times that removing them ends up causing us more problems in the long run and a long-term use of pharmaceuticals. And as far as disease management does not restore function, it doesn't. So if we're just looking at the disease and what the symptom is per se, then you're right. We're only curing the symptom, not what the root cause is. And so there tends to be way more deep diving into what that root cause ended up being. And a lot of times it's missed because we've gone through life for so long saying, oh, that gas or bloating or brain fog or digestive upset or that reflux, that's just something that I've had off and on over the last couple of years or whatnot. But then in the long run, it was basically the system giving off red flags that something wasn't working. And then eventually it became something larger that you couldn't ignore anymore. And that's where we start just band-aiding and looking at pharmaceuticals for the symptoms we're having, and that's not going to get you the results, and eventually they're going to continue to build up the pharmaceuticals on you, right? And then we already talked about the drug deficiency. If you have a headache, you don't need aspirin. I mean, you're not deficient of an aspirin. That is plain and simple. We don't need to go into that even further because really it's self-explanatory. And as far as the recorded history of traditional medicine, this has been around for a long time. You know, there's so many cultures out there that have survived off of this traditional medicine point of view, from acupuncture to herbal care to even spiritual alignments, as well as, you know, yes, I would say saunas work because it links back to those things that spiritually our family or ancestors did, like sweat lodges. So to give you an example of why saunas might work, but there's also things like red light saunas, right? You just go outside in the morning or in the evening and you get the same benefit. So if your budget is a little more minimized, there's other alternatives that work just as well. We didn't have a red light sauna that we can walk into. And then as far as modern disease management, it's an early man's game. This hasn't been around long enough to really say that it's going to work. And actually what we're finding is a lot of people are starting to die younger. So I would say that symptom management isn't really working as well as they thought it was going to. And now we're actually already stepping back into old traditional habits of things that served us way better in the long run from our ancestors' time. And again, like Sean said, welcome to Authentic Care. All right, so the 5 key components to maximizing results. This is a process. It is going to take some time. How long have you been destroying or beating up your body? That's going to be what it's going to take, not in the full length, but it's going to take longer, right? So we usually say 3 to 6 months is where you can restore function, and in 1 to 2 years is where you get to the full, the full outcome. But it's not an event. It isn't just like here, bing, bing, and we're done, right? And in order to reduce toxins, we have to correct the deficiency. So we have to get those deficiencies back into the body. We have to figure out what's going on. And we also have to open ports in order for the body to detox properly so that we can get it operating fully, as well as body's natural healing blueprint. This is really based off of you as an individual and looking at things more as that what does it require to get you back to your full, beautiful health and thriving, right? What is it that you need? Not what everybody else needs. This is really based on your body's needs. And then where, what, and how. We go into the where is this issue occurring? What is exactly happening? And how can we fix it? This is the fireman and carpenter example. We're not going to send a carpenter in to go ahead and start putting in carpet while the fire is still going. So we need to put out the fire, get everything restored, remove all that out, and then go ahead and send the carpenter and all the other things in to do the final work, right? And then the right resources will equal the risk to restore function. We need the right resources to restore function. So we need to know how we need to approach your body in the right direction in order to restore the function that is desired for the perfect outcome. And the really big thing that we want to note here is that consistency outweighs perfectionism. We don't expect you to be perfect in what you're doing, but the more consistent you could be, the better your results are going to be in the end.
And I will hit on that really quick at the end there, the consistency over the perfection. This is very important for those of you who are a little apprehensive, a little worried, a little nervous about starting a new health and wellness plan or going the holistic or natural route. It is a journey. This isn't just a one-time visit or take that medication and your symptoms disappear. This can take months and years to become or get over whatever it is. Everyone's different, but get over whatever it is that you're dealing with, and you don't have to be perfect in order to achieve pure health and wellness. Like Dr. J said, it's all about consistency. And that's what we're here for in the clinic. We provide virtually 24/7 online support, thank you, through our portal. So there's no reason to not have that communication, back and forth for any questions or concerns that you may have.
So the 8 support categories to nutritional therapy is, we first discussed digestion. How's the digestion working? How is the bowel movements going? How's all these beautiful operations that are the basic needs of the system to operate in order for you to get the best results? Then we also focus on immune system. How's that working? Do we have some viral load, bacterial load? What does that look like, and how can we calm that out? The other one is organ cleanse. So we may need to look directly at supporting the organ because it might have a little bit of toxic waste or things that have been clogging it up, and we need to support it and get it cleaned out or at least operating properly. We also look at structural. So where in the body are you holding or tying up because of maybe scar tissue or injuries, which still create scar tissue, which actually creates blockages, right? Hormonal balances. So when we're looking at hormones, we need to find out where the hormones are operating. That still goes back to other things because sometimes the hormones don't balance or work because other parts of the body aren't working properly. Environmental. What are you doing in your environment that is causing stress, harm, or creating a little more or less environmental balance, right? And then nutrition. What kind of food are you putting in your body? Is it fuel or is it toxins? Is it real or is it fake, right? So we need to really look at that and also see what is causing you maybe even more flare-ups, because there are good foods out there that maybe your body isn't processing right now, but the goal is to get that back on track. And cardiovascular system. Obviously, we care very dearly about the heart and how it's operating and how all the organs are operating in order to support the heart. So that's a big one that we'll also look at, and how that all comes together is really supporting each one of these when they come up and in the order that your body needs it done in.
All right. So this is just a little breakdown of what you're going to expect before and at your initial visit. So if you're going through this orientation video, more than likely you came to it by going to our naturalmedhub.com/start page. And this is the first piece of the orientation that you're going to take is this video here. So you're going to watch the orientation video. You then are going to be prompted to take a couple of health and wellness assessments and quizzes to get us a little bit of a background of where you're coming from and where your true pain points lie. And then it's going to give you a lot of very informative feedback from those assessments. And then it will prompt you to either book the 30-minute consultation with myself and Dr. J, or go ahead and book your initial appointment. If you do book your initial visit, your initial appointment, you're going to be prompted to complete some paperwork. That paperwork can take about 20 to 30 minutes, and that really depends on your background and what information that you have to share with us. And once you come into the office, you will sit down in our captain's chair. It's a nice leather recliner. You're going to go through the full body bioenergetic scan, which is going to look at every single organ in the body and even down to a DNA level. And it's going to pinpoint any hot spots that we need to address. From there, after Dr. J gives you the full detailed rundown of that bioenergetic scan, we will go to the back and we will do a kinesiology or muscle testing. This is a non-invasive analysis. It's a full body analysis using kinesiology. And we will also give you, supplemental testing to see if there are any supplements to support what you're going through to get you on the right track. And then we actually go through a strict food test. So it's using muscle testing kinesiology again, but we're testing specific foods against your body to see if there are any sensitivities. And if there are, then we know to back those out of your initial meal plan. So from there, we evaluate your current status. We, sit down and chat, talk about what's going on. We'll determine effective course of action. That's why these appointments here, or your initial appointment, is about between 2 and 2.5 hours long, because we really want to make sure that we get you onto the right course and plan of action to ensure the best success, right? So we also will educate you on the proper use of resources, and this is obviously very, very important in your journey. A lot of you that come in will take information that we've given you in that appointment and you'll want to run with it, which is great. But we want to stop you there because there's certain things that people can get in trouble with. There's certain companies that will sell supplements that unfortunately aren't as good a quality and can run into other problems. There's other times when people will go to the grocery store and not know what to shop for and end up picking up things that would adversely affect their program. That's why we sit down and chat with you about this in depth. And that's why we provide virtually the 24/7 support on our portal, so you don't run into problems like this.
So our findings from the initial visit, we give the example of liver. So if we're supporting the liver and we find that that is one of the problems that we find on the scan, it usually coincides with your muscle test, especially if it's a high hot spot is what we refer to it as. And we might find that in order to get the liver moving and going in the proper direction, we need a little more digestive support. Sometimes it's supporting the gallbladder, sometimes it's supporting the breakdown of fats, but regardless, it refers to the digestive operations in order to help basically get the liver moving in the proper direction. Immune support, we will, look at that again. This is reiterating kind of the order we go in. And as far as the liver goes, let's say there is some viral or bacterial parasitic infection going on there. We'll look at reducing the viral or whatever organism is in that area. We'll look at that and see if that is what your body needs. And then from there, we'll look at if it does need some support by cleansing, what the options look like around that. And then as far as the structural support and repair, some of the enzymes and things like that might have glandulars or things that will help repair the system. Or is there even scar tissue, and do we need to help start the breakdown of that in order for the liver to get the best support? And then also it'll go into the endocrine and hormonal support. So really the liver obviously breaks down hormones and fats, so that's a big place. If we can get that moving again hormonally, you will see a change as well. Environmental support, is there issues going on with allergies or things like that that would affect it, food-based or environmentally? And then the nutritional support, again, that goes back into what foods are aggravating it. Not necessarily infectious, but more aggravating it because the body can't process it at that time. And then looking at the cardiovascular support. So the liver is directly, it has a very large direction correlation to the cardiovascular system. So we'll be looking at that as well. And these are really all the points that we'll hit on in order to just support the liver. Now, does that mean you'll be taking all these supplements for that? No, not at all. Actually, we have a 5 to 6 count minimum of supplements that you should take in one sitting, and then after that we tell you no. And most of the stuff we look at is food-based even, so we're not even looking at what true supplements fall under, right? We're not looking at like you need to take magnesium and you need to take calcium and you need to take all these different things. It's really more of like, what are you missing in your diet that we can support or build up, and you might need it in a more like consolidated form in order for it to get the best results out of it. And then from there, we just kind of keep building and we keep peeling back what we refer to as the onion.
Okay. So your program of care. So this is the support phase. This is about 2 to 3 weeks after your initial visit. Can be up to 4, and it depends on the person, what supplements they're put on, what protocols they're put on. So it's really 2 to 4 weeks depending. So a full kinesiology evaluation is done every 2 weeks, and a biofeedback scan is recommended every 8 weeks. Then we move into what is the stability phase, and this is a visit every 4 to 6 weeks for about 3 to 4 months, with the optional biofeedback scan every 8 weeks as well. And then the last phase is the restoration phase. So this is when you're really becoming self-sufficient, you're feeling a lot better, you're happy with your results, etc. This is going to be a visit every 6 to 8 to 12 weeks and ongoing, as in restoration would be also the maintenance phase. So we don't want to lose sight and lose track of all the hard work that we've put in over the year or two, and keep on that maintenance phase, because our bodies do run into different things all the time, whether it be viral, parasitic, maybe candida. Stress is another big one. Things that you need to go in there for, a maintenance, obviously. So, you ask why, right? Everyone's kind of like, how is this structured, or why is this structured? So this all depends on the individual. And this takes 3 to 6 months to achieve stability, and up to 1 to 3 years to restore proper and full function. And again, this depends on the individual, the age, the sex, just what they've had going on in their life. Every single person is different, and what we talk about all the time in our clinic is a bio-individuality or bio-individual type of treatment. So the nutritional therapy and services. So this is where we talk about the pricing, and this is based on a normal frequency of care. This doesn't involve packaging yet. This is just if you're paying per visit. So the new patient office visit is $397. That's a one-time fee when you come into the office. And then the peak progress check, or the standard office visit. So this is when you come in for your kinesiology evaluation and sit-down coaching visits. They last about 30 minutes, and those visits are $97. Children 17 and under get a break there at $85. So then the next one is the peak wellness scan, progress check, and office visit. So what this is the biofeedback scan. So this is every 8 weeks. You're going to come in, do the biofeedback scan in depth with Dr. J, come back to the back for the kinesiology and coaching session with myself. This visit is between 60 and 90 minutes, and that one is $197. And just as a side note at the bottom there, any supplements are not included in the visit costs. So whatever supplements that you may need, either refills or new supplements, would be on top of the visit price. So these are the optional Peak Wellness 365 membership services. So we have 2 optional. One is the Peak Foundation. And what the individual would receive under the Peak Foundation is the monthly care plus the full digital access to Natural Med Hub. Natural Med Hub is our online interactive portal, and where you can get 24/7 support, online personal training, amongst many different other services that are offered on that platform. Plus, you're in clinic. So you're actually, for $237 per month, you're going to receive 2 in-clinic visits per month, and this is your choice of service. Now, later on in the presentation, we'll go into a little bit more on the other services that we do offer at the clinic. This also includes a personalized meal plan, which is updated monthly. You have full digital platform access, which is included. You'll receive 15% off all full script supplements, email and app support between visits. And that's like one-on-one direct coaching when you need it, or if you're needing a quick check-in. The Studio Sweat on Demand, which is the online personal training. There's 500 plus workout classes on there. So the different services that you can choose from that we offer in the clinic. Number 1 is myofascial therapy massage release. The next one is the Wellness Pro Plus, which is a microcurrent and TENS unit machine, followed by auricular therapy, which is based similar to acupuncture. And as we go on in the presentation, Dr. J will explain more about the auricular therapy. The RMR, which is resting metabolic rate testing, red light therapy, digestive valve reset, and then obviously the kinesiology muscle testing, along with the medicine way, which is the bioenergetic scan, customized meal plans, and of course the life coaching. There is another modality that's offered here called Cell to Soul, which is energy, healing, and trauma release therapy. This is not included. It's available as a separate package. So we move over to the Peak Complete, which is basically unlimited care with all services included. And that one runs $427 a month. So this is up to 4 clinic visits per month. You can come in as often as you need with priority scheduling, next day availability. You will have access to the digital platform plus 20% off full script supplements and free shipping. The other benefit is there's no credit card processing fees, which is a huge benefit. Studio Sweat on Demand, of course, as well. All the other services that I just mentioned are included, with the exception of the Cell to Soul. And just to add on too, if you guys have any detail or any questions at all on the membership care, please reach out to us individually or one-on-one. You can send us a direct text at 303-359-4496, and we're happy to answer any questions. So next is why we talk about membership care and what it provides for you. So membership care provides structure, continuity, and efficiency. When visits are scheduled individually, they may be delayed and transaction fees accumulate over time. This allows you to get on the schedule ahead of time. Membership appointments to be organized in advance, reducing repeated billing transactions while improving therapeutic consistency. With one predictable monthly fee or investment, members receive reduced transaction fees, priority scheduling, simplified billing, focused one-on-one care, greater continuity and accountability, stronger long-term outcomes. Now, for individuals attending 2 or more sessions per month, membership care is often more efficient and more cost-effective than appointment-based scheduling. Simply arrive, receive your care, and continue on with your day. So, and then again, I went over the available services in the previous slide, but there is a list of those. You're welcome to pause it, write them down. Anything, if you have direct questions, please reach out to us. So I'll let Dr. J now go ahead and dive into a little bit more of the specialized treatments and obviously different offerings that we have at the clinic. We're not going to spend too much time, just kind of a brief explanation on the other services.
Yeah, so we offer lots of other additional services at the clinic, one of them being auricular therapy, which is an acupuncture style treatment that uses electromagnetic stimulation to the ear, kind of like a reflexology on the foot. It's dealing with organ and correlations back to the meridians and organs in the body. Bioenergetic body scan or organ survey is a full body in-depth scan that is using a unique style of scanning that is a very old dated therapy. It also has some other benefits to that, but we can definitely talk more about that one in the clinic, especially as you're doing the scan, which is done on the first visit. Digestive valve reset is if you're basically struggling with digestion and we need to get those valves reset because you're refluxing, not having proper bowel movements, things like that. That's very helpful in those moments. Environmental food chemical desensitization. So if you're responding to things in your environment and you don't understand why, or what they are, we can desensitize your body's response to those environmental or chemical or food problems, or they're otherwise referred to a lot of times as allergies. Health, wellness, and lifestyle strategies and coaching. We have some awesome coaching in our clinic that helps you with your health and wellness and lifestyle goals. Sean is a big one that does that. I do it with the Cell to Soul. So just as a heads up, we both get a hold of you at some point or another in some dynamic, and we help you on your journey of keeping yourself accountable, right? Vitamins and mineral and supplement scan. We can look at and do a separate scan that will specifically hit on the vitamins, minerals, and supplements that you're taking and or what you're deficient in. There is also personal training and online fitness that is available, obviously, with the app, the Natural Med Hub. There is the online fitness in there that is available to you, especially under the membership. The resting metabolic rate and meal plans, that is really testing how many calories you're burning at rest and what you can do to maintain that if you want to maintain weight or even lose weight. And then there's meal plans around that to really get you to that successful point. And then the Soul to Cell is a non-invasive, deep level energetic and emotional healing that have had tremendous results, especially for people with trauma, and even more specific for people with PTSD that can't regulate their bodies properly. The Wellness Pro microcurrent and TENS unit will help with any pains, aches, and even repairing of systems that may have become dysfunctional. And the myofascial release massage therapy is really more of a deep tissue massaging that helps release tension, and it also works at the lymphatic and more superficial levels in order to help with your aches and pains that you're dealing with in your body that have been ongoing.
And just a little bit more on the myofascial. It's a thin tissue that lies above the muscle right below the skin. It's a lot where traditional massage can actually miss that. So that's why it's so effective for pain management. All right, so as we review the resources, so after you complete the online orientation video here, you will have access to download this PowerPoint for one, so you can have that at your disposal. You'll also have access to this here, the Prelude to the Ultimate Healing System, where in here we talk about, number one, this entire program of what you're going to be going through is a process. It's not an event. Don't think of it as an event. This is a lifelong, commitment to yourself and to your family and to your kids, of how you can feel and be the best person that you can be, and do it without pharmaceutical drugs and without surgeries and etc. Why we experience disease. It'll talk a little bit about that. It goes into the body's blueprint. It talks about the where, what, how. This next one here is very important, and it's something that we want to really talk about here, and it's the compliance to your program. And the reason why the compliance is so important, we have had in the past where people will try to go out on their own, right? They'll try to buy supplements or save money buying supplements online or getting knockoff brand supplements, and unfortunately those don't work the same. The reason why is because we specifically test you for specific supplements in the clinic, and those are what's working for your body. If you veer off your program and try to get something different because you think that's going to work, chances are it's not going to, and then maybe your program might stall out from there. So we don't want to see that. And then also with the meal plans, there are substitutions and different things like that for meal plans. That's why you come to us for guidance on that instead of guessing. We're here to take that guesswork out for you so you don't have to guess regarding that. And bonus material, obviously, and then your personal responsibilities to maximizing your personal success. So this Prelude to Ultimate Healing System is downloadable as well on naturalmedhub.com/start. It's available right after you complete the video here. So these are just some of the patient testimonials. These are some from a couple of years back. And also you're welcome to go on to the Google reviews page, the Peak Wellness 365 Google reviews. There are a bunch of 5-star Google reviews on there and people explaining how we helped them and what we were able to do for them. And you can also check us out on our website. We've been in the media a few times as well. And you can always check out those videos if you go to peakwellness365.com/media. And this is just a reminder for everybody watching this. There obviously are two very big important things at stake here. Number one is your health, and number two is our reputation. And we both are not here to jeopardize either one.
Exactly. It's really one of those things where we just want you to be healthy, and we want you to live that life that you would love to live and embody it to its fullest, because money is based on health and health is money. So really, at the end of the day, the healthier you are, the more money, the longer longevity you're going to have, and the better person you can show up in the world.
All right, so this is our final slide, everyone, and this is kind of your next steps, putting your health in order. After you book your first appointment, you'll receive and complete your paperwork. That's all done online. Confirm and schedule your initial visit, your new patient appointment. You can always scan the QR code. I would just suggest using the link in the website, thenaturalmedhub.com/start. It'll take you directly to the page where you can book that. And then you can also use the booking link to book the free video consultation. That'll be a live Zoom consultation, and we're able to answer any sort of questions that you may have. And we just both want to thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for your time. That means a lot to us because time is money as well. So just to kind of put that out there for you, you really need to take this time to think if this is worth your journey and if it's going to help you, because at the end of the day, you've got to have that commitment in. You can't have one foot out and one foot in, because otherwise you're going to end up jeopardizing and ruining this outcome for yourself. And really, that goes back to it's really a big thing about whether or not this is worth your time and your money, because that's a big piece of everything that we're putting into this, right? And remember this too, we will vet patients just as much as they vet us. So we have unfortunately had to turn people away because, when you're not ready, we don't want you to feel like we're forcing you to do something you haven't fully committed to. Because at the end of the day, the only way you're going to get the outcome you are looking for is by being fully invested in yourself. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you guys. We look forward to seeing you in the clinic. And if you do need to reach us directly, you can email us at info at peakwellness365.com. Once again, that's info at peakwellness365.com. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.